How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading whether price is going up or down. Fed Chair Jerome Powell, crypto turmoil, fraud, run risk is being monitored. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell today said that the crypto space needs to be monitored closely because it is full of turmoil, but innovation in the world's biggest economy should not be stifled. Testifying on Capitol Hill, he said that the U.S. Central Bank had been quite active in that area, adding that the Fed does not want to stifle innovation. He added that regulated financial institutions supervised by the Fed need to take great care how they engage with the crypto space. Like everyone else, we've been watching what's been happening in the crypto space, and what we see is quite a lot of turmoil. We see fraud, we see lack of transparency, we see run risk, and we see a lot of things like that, Powell said. What we haven't been doing is making sure that regulated financial institutions that we supervise and regulate are careful in taking great care in the ways they engage with the crypto space. So he's saying that we need to watch out, that way we don't invest too much money from normal financial institutions that the government's backing into the crypto space and then lose money like an FTX situation. The crypto space was rocked by a number of high-profile bankruptcies and controversies last year. The main topic of the policy discussion today was inflation, which is sky high in the US. The Fed has been trying to get it down by raising interest rates. For anyone that's not aware, they raise interest rates to make money more expensive to borrow. That way, it's harder for people to get loans, and less likely people are going to spend and cause debt, which debt raises inflation. Most recently, the central bank upped interest rates by 25 basis points, but today Powell said that the Fed could lift interest rates higher and potentially faster than expected because inflation is too high. So this is in agreement with what we've covered the last few days. Likely inflation might get around 6% rather than 5.25 to 5.5 like previously targeted, and him saying that it may go up faster is a hint that we may not see just a 25-point hike, we may see a 50-point hike, as we may need to get that to that rate quicker than we thought. Core inflation has come down, but nowhere near as far as we hoped, and it has a long way to go, he said. XRP holders celebrate as court strikes out SEC's expert testimonies in Ripple case. This is mainly why XRP is doing its own thing today. The judge assigned to the case, Alyssa Torres, ruled on the move to exclude expert testimony submitted by both Ripple Labs and the US SEC, bringing the legal conflict between the two sides closer to its conclusion. According to the lawyer, John E. Deaton, the judge's decision on the summary judgment request is likely to be made public within the next few weeks or possibly right now. So the judge may say what they think of the case real soon. Although the judge granted Ripple's motion to exclude testimony from one of the SEC's expert witnesses, one of the most recent decisions looks to be in favor of XRP investors. The expert's assessment of what a reasonable XRP buyer would be anticipated was rejected, but the remainder of this evidence was accepted. The ruling may have major implications for Ripple since it calls into question the SEC's assertion that XRP sales are unregistered security transactions. Another key issue in the lawsuit is SEC's position on XRP secondary market sales, as the regulator contends that these deals amount to unregistered security offers. Even if Ripple loses before the district court, Attorney Deaton expects that the judge will clarify this matter so XRP holders may still come out ahead. What they mean is that it's already been determined that secondary market sales, such as on an exchange, are not unregistered securities or even securities at all. It is a normal offering, so this portion of the case is likely to get thrown out. Shiles Court approves CoinFlex restructuring plan. The Shiles Court has approved the restructuring plan tabled by the Hong Kong-based derivative exchange CoinFlex. We are pleased to confirm on Monday, March 6, 2023, CoinFlex's restructuring plan was approved by the Shiles Courts. CoinFlex didn't provide details on the next step, saying that the court's written order is expected to be published this week and shall be shared immediately after that. Trading in locked assets on this exchange will still remain closed until the exchange publishes the written court order. CoinFlex halted withdrawals in the end of June 2022, so if many of you that aren't familiar, you probably came in after that date, and not too much more useful here. In the restructuring plan, the crypto exchange had proposed that creditors will own 65% of the exchange. It also proposed that Series A investors would lose their equity stakes. So that could be positive for people that had their money on there. Not if you're a Series A funder, though. Yuga 12-fold Bitcoin NFT auction raises $16.5 million. Yuga Labs' buzzy and controversial auction of its debut Bitcoin NFT collection concluded Monday with 288 successful bidders nabbing as many pieces in the limited series, spending a combined $16.49 million worth of BTC. The biggest bid was 7.1159 BTC, or roughly $159,500, and the lowest successful bid was for 2.2501 BTC, or just over $50,000. The top 288 bidders will receive their inscriptions within the week per Yuga. The last 12 pieces of the 300 count limited series will be held for contributors and distributors as part of Yuga's philanthropic programs. Yuga, the $4 billion company behind dominant NFT collection Bored Ape Yacht Club, has only ever previously released NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain. Hopefully these NFTs actually have copyrights. 12-fold NFTs are generative art pieces described on the Bitcoin blockchain via ordinals. The pieces are all 12 by 12 grids, a homage to how data is stored on the Bitcoin blockchain, and are generative art pieces that combine 3D graphics and hand-drawn features. Each of the pieces won at auction today will be generated by the same code, and pieces won at higher bidding prices will not have a higher quality than those won at the lower prices, according to Yuga. Pieces from the collection, though, will be numbered and generated according to their rank in the bidding process. Would-be 12-fold holders had to deposit the full amount of their bids directly with Yuga in order to be considered in the auction. Yuga promised it would return the rejected bids within 24 hours of the auction's conclusion. This is kind of sketchy, and Casey Ramnor, the creator of Bitcoin Ordinals, kind of blasted Yuga for this, for creating such a process that could easily be manipulated by nefarious project creators to steal funds from bidders. If I personally ever see you, the Yuga Labs, the entity, F around and delegate BS like this again, I will wash my hands of you forever and encourage others, including those close to me, to do the same, he wrote on Twitter on Monday. So, not very happy with them. I don't blame him. Pretty stupid idea. Despite only debuting in late January, over 325 ordinals have been inscribed according to data from Dune Analytics. Block Asset Athlete NFTs expand beyond Solana to Chills. Athlete and NFT platform Block Asset said that it is going to be moving to Chills, which is a EVM compatible Layer 1 blockchain. Alongside the expansion, Block Asset will receive an equity investment with Chills, which owns the Socios fan token and rewards platform. Socios will work with more than 170 partners, including teams across the NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLS, plus top soccer leagues around the world. So they have a lot of connections, and they already have a thriving system. In a blog post from Chills and Block Asset, the companies wrote that Block Asset will now move the next development phase from Solana to Chills Chain 2.0. However, in a tweet, Block Asset co-founder and product manager Mike Dickens said that the company is not leaving Solana and that the firm will take a cross-chain approach. DeGods and Utes, two of the most popular NFT projects on Solana, bridge over to Ethereum and Polygon respectively this month. Tiny Colony and Solana NFT game is also moving to Immutable X. So we're starting to see quite a few projects move away from Solana onto other chains because they want to be on a chain that actually stays on. So onto the chart, sorry. Over on BTC, we dropped pretty bad. Got more of a dip. We almost came all the way down to our channel that we warned about yesterday. Our money flow is still coming out. Momentum waves coming down. We kind of are curling, but I wouldn't hope too much for a curl right now, especially since the Fed hasn't announced their stance on the interest rate hike. If you missed that, go back to the beginning of the video and watch the ending of that news article. VWAP is starting to try and cross up and go bullish. Our stochastic's still kind of dead, and our RSI is kind of flatlined as well. So RSI and stochastic haven't done much in the last few days. Money flow's coming down. VWAP's trying to get bullish. Our momentum wave is trying to get bullish. So on the daily, we're trying to get some decent signals. Over on the 4 hour, we do have a bullish cross on stochastic. Our RSI is starting to head up after being flat for so long. So we're getting a little bit of movement here, but our money flow is bearish. Our VWAP is trying to cross bullish, so that is a positive sign, and our momentum wave is kind of trying to round out. If you see like here, when that lighter blue line starts to go away, you'll start to get your bottom. Over on the 2 hour, you can see that we did have this triangle. We could potentially come down to the 21K area, down to our support of this channel, but this is the best case scenario that we could have had, because if we were to have gone above and broken into this ascending channel and stayed on it, then that would be a bearish pattern. So we may have broke up and came up above 25K, everyone would have gotten hyped, and then we probably would have came and crashed down, as that would have been our third touch. And usually after the third or subsequent touch, you get your breakdown. So that would just set us up for a big disaster. Now we're trading more inside this down channel we had, which is a bullish pattern and could take us higher. We did get, let's see, 2 touches already. So a third touch would be a possible breakout point. That could take us somewhat back into this channel. And then we could potentially still see this channel play out, so that's why I'm not going to get rid of that channel. But if we manage to break away from this channel, that would be ultimately the bullish sign. But first we'll have to see if we can even get back to it. Money flow is coming out on the 2 hour, it's trying to curl up. VWAP is crossing bullish, stochastic's heading up, but our RSI is coming down. We're getting a double green dot, so that is a positive sign. Don't know why the RSI is coming down with the stochastic giving it strength, but we are starting to look a little bullish there. However, on the 1 hour, we did cross green on our money flow, and then we came back down and rejected. So we did get a double green dot here as well. Our momentum wave is heading up. Our VWAP is heading up pretty strongly. RSI made a bounce up off of that, around that neutral zone, and our stochastic's heading up pretty strongly. We do have a little bit of a round here, so that is kind of a bottom signal, but we could come up to this resistance area where we had all these candle wicks from previous supports. Not going to go all the way back right now, but we could hit that and then come back down and fall. But if we manage to hit that and use it as support, that could be a positive sign to come back into that channel, which ultimately is a bearish pattern. So, a little mixed feelings on how we could go with that. Over on graph, we do have a down channel forming after breaking down from this pattern on lower time frames, so we'll talk about that. Our money flow is still coming out. Our stochastic's coming down with a bearish divergence. Our momentum wave is kind of attempting to curl, kind of like Bitcoin. VWAP's trying to come up. So we're trying to get some bullish signals here. Money flow's been kind of flat in the bearish zone, starting to curl away. VWAP is trying to cross. We're getting a green dot on our RSI, And our stochastic's trying to make a bullish cross, but you can't really see it because of the green dot and where the lines are. Momentum is making a higher high, even though price is making a lower low, so that is a positive sign, as that's a bullish divergence. We could get a green dot in the next couple candles on our momentum wave, so that would be a bullish divergence too. And likely if we touch the top of this channel, we'd break out, as we've already touched it 3 times. This is why you just don't want to go on, just because it's the 3rd touch. Sometimes you don't always break out on the 3rd touch. But this could bring us back into the tip of that descending triangle. Hopefully we could break into it and break above it and invalidate that pattern. Oops, sorry, forgot the 2 hour and the 1 hour. 2 hour, money flow is trying to curl, VWAP's coming up, stochastic's heading up. So we're trying to get some bullish signals here on the 2 hour. Green dot's printing, so looking pretty positive for somewhat of a recovery. If that money flow can recover, then I'd feel a little more confident. Over on the 1 hour, our money flow is coming down pretty strongly, so that's not the best look. We did get a green dot, however, it looks like we're kind of rounding away and could come back down with this momentum wave. Our stochastic's heading up, but our RSI is starting to flatten out, so not looking too good with that. So over on XRP, we did get a big run up today, and that's mainly because of that news and that we covered earlier. So if you missed what that news is, you might want to check it out. Stochastic's heading up, RSI's heading up, we have a green dot on our momentum and that's heading up, our VWAP's heading up, our money flow is pretty flat, so if it doesn't start to pick up, I'd be pretty worried. You might wonder what this big line is. We'll get to that shortly. I'll get to that in the 2 hour and the 1 hour. We do have a green dot here, so that is a signal that we could have more bullish run up on the 4 hour. We did break out of a down channel on like the 2nd touch, so it is possible we could come back down, hit it again, and then come out. Our momentum wave's starting to curl, RSI is heading up, stochastic's heading up, so RSI and stochastic are looking pretty good, but our VWAP and our momentum are starting to come down and not looking so good. Over on the 2 hour, you can see money flow crossed right in this area and retested in this area. That's why we have the line on the 2 hour. That's a bullish signal that I've been saying to look out for. We'll look on the 1 hour to see how that looked on the 1 hour, but it may get invalidated as we don't see that on the 4 hour. We do have this double red dot showing up here, so that's a bearish sign. RSI is making lower highs even though price is making higher highs, and we have bearish divergence forming on our stochastic. VWAP is coming down, so overall we're not looking too good on the shorter term time frame. Over on the 1 hour, to fill in how the 1 hour works, we did cross and our VWAP, our money flow started coming pretty strong, and we made a pretty decent move up to resistance. So that's how that money flow cross can kind of show you that, hey, we're going to get a move up. Our VWAP is trying to head up after peaking bearish, so that is a sign that the 1 hour could recover, and maybe the 2 hour won't look so bad in a few hours. We'll have to kind of watch and see how things play out. Over on algo, we do have a down channel, kind of like XRP. After breaking down, it looks like our volume profile kind of got recalculated with the shift down as well. Oh no, never mind. We're just bouncing off the bottom of it now. So this has been a pretty good support area as price hasn't wanted to break it. But Bitcoin starts to get weaker, then we could break this. Money flow is coming out pretty aggressively. RSI is coming down pretty strong. And our stochastic's pretty beat down. Money flow looks like it wanted to kind of round off, but it looks like it's getting kind of an exaggerated pull down. Over on the 4 hour, you can see we could possibly hit resistance at 25 cents if we break out of this channel bullishly around here. Our money flow is coming down though. We're having some divergences. It looks like over the last few hours our momentum wave came down even more. But nonetheless, we do still have a bullish divergence as we're making lower lows on our momentum wave, or higher lows on momentum and lower lows on price. Our money flows coming out, stochastic and RSI are kind of flat, struggling around that neutral zone, so we could give the strength to the bears soon. Over on the 2 hour, money flow is trying to curl up, so that is a positive sign that we could make a recovery. We have a double green dot on our momentum wave and it's curling up pretty decently right now. Our VWAP's coming up alright, not too strong, but hopefully it can pick up and kind of come in a little stronger. Over on the 1 hour, our money flow is coming down, so not looking too good. We'll want that in the bullish zone if we're going to get a bullish move up. But our momentum wave is making kind of a higher low as price is making lower lows. So we have a pretty big low here and not as bad of a low here. So not highlighting, but we do have a bit of a divergence there. That could help propel us up, but we're going to need this money flow to start to recover. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.